A 10-inch 78 RPM shellac record on the Columbia label. Ms. Montgomerie's Wee Shop, Part 1 by William McCulloch. Talk. It's a monologue really in the Scottish vernacular by the monologist William McCulloch, who in his retirement spent the rest of his years travelling around Scotland and sort of giving his monologues on various little subjects such as Mrs. Montgomerie's Wee Shop. Let's have a listen, it's really nice. Quite rare, this one as well.
Mrs. Montgomerie had a little shop down our street where she retailed small groceries and vegetables, dealt ware and gossip. All the women of the neighbourhood liked to get some of their purchases from Mrs. Montgomerie. For although her goods were dearer than what you would pay in Lipton's or in the Co, yet where could you get so much gossip? You had only to buy a penny of the vegetables for broth, nae saibies, Mrs. Montgomerie. And for that penny you got enough news to last even a woman for a whole week. But in the Co you could spend 2 solid shillings. And all the news you got from the energetic shopman was, anything else to do that there shilling, 1 and 6, 1 and 6, 1 9 3 farms, canary seed, tuppence, 1 a lump, 3 farms, match for the farm, 2 shillings was next. On the day I speak of, there were congregated in Mrs. Montgomerie's shop the wives and widows of the district, and the following is something like what I heard from the lips of the shopwoman. Is it no enough a thing that some folks cannot keep their tongues off their neighbours? If it's no one, it's another, and that Mrs. McCallum's the worst of the whole jing bang. She's that two-faced and I cannot soul deceit, and if she ever comes to my door, I'll tell her plump and plain what I think of her. I'll no be a bit milly-mouthed with her. I'll just tell her to her very face exactly what... Oh, whisht, here she's. Mind what you're saying. It's yourself, Mrs. McCallum, who is just talking about you. Who's John Sarefoot? Oh, that's nice. Well, Dr. Johnson is a real skillful man, and you ken it must be awful comforting to think that John Sarefoot is in the hands of a Kent face. I was just saying it would be a good thing if that Mrs. Blue would learn to keep her tongue off her neighbours. To a woman like me, with a well-regulated mind, it's perfectly disgraceful. She just gangs frae hoose to hoose gathering flavours, and she gets her tea here and her tea there and tells in your house what she hears and minds, and she clavers on, and the clavers come off her just like snow off a jack's back. I used to be sorry for a poor man having to listen to all her stories till I heard he was stone deaf, and I just says to myself, well, Providence is kind.
Right, side 2 of this lovely 10-inch 78 RPM shellac Columbia record, Mrs. Montgomerie's Wee Shop, recited by William McCulloch. It's one of his own monologues, and it's as fresh as the day you read it really, because anybody who knows a corner shop when I grew up in the 60s, and he mentions the name Lipton's, which there were still Lipton's branches in London in the 60s. I do remember those shops, and it's very true. You walk into your corner shops and hear all sorts of gossip. You go into a big supermarket these days and you don't hear anything but the ringing of the clattering of money and people loading stuff into their baskets. Mrs. Montgomerie's Wee Shop, Part 2. Lovely stuff.
And she couldn't keep her tongue off her man neighbours, for she said to me in his very presence, Mistress Montgomerie, I never need for to boil a kettle, for John always keeps me in hot water. The same John hadn't the spunk of a moose, or he would have put her out of the house. What's that, a boy? I declare if it's not Mistress Christie, and was split new dolman. It's well seen she doesn't pay for how she gets. Her and her supercilly ass ears, and on me fountains in the lane of my gilly pan. What's that you're saying? I'm not hearing right, for I haven't my teeth in. Wally McGribble, her good brother, a drunken wretch. Far be it from me for to say ony ill about anybody, but William McGribble is just a naff. And so was his father. I mind a Dr. Johnson coming to see him when he was threatened with blindness. Now, Willie, says the doctor, you've either got to stop the whisky or lose your eyesight. Ah, well, says Willie, I'm an old man now, and I'm thinking I've seen everything that's worth seeing. And that's nae carrot story, for I got it frae a cousin of the wife that used to wash the clothes to his good sister's auntie. What's that? Difference with a putty head? There you are, son. That's Tam McFud's youngest. I comes I carrying on the coal business down the water wind. At least his wife does the business. He does the carrying on. Awful sad about poor Polly McWheagle. Went to her bed as usual last night. And when she woke up this morning, she was dead. I'm awful sorry for her mother. She'll be awful pitting about it. Aye, and this her washing day. Was it showing you Jeannie's footy? It's a dead image to the life, and only threepence the dozen. Of course, they couldn't take her feet in for that tea, but that's a great blessing, for her boots was letting in at the time. Are you sitting on this there, Mrs. McGinty? Oh, aye. I had the factor in it the other day. I fairly like the factor. He's a real promising young man. In fact, he would promise you anything. I was speaking to him about the clothes, and he says, we'll all need to take a turn at it. And speaking about the clothes, it's disgraceful the way that lass upstairs stands till hours of the morning while Lord whispering a wall like a burst pipe. You can't get a wink of sleep for them. Aye, and they speak that quick, you can't make out a word they're saying.